Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to All Things Superman, where we simply talk about everything related to Superman, from TV shows to comics to movies and much, much more. So, today we get a big piece of movie news concerning the new Batman vs. Superman movie, or Man of Steel 2, as you may know it. And that news is none other than we've gotten our official title for the movie, and that title is Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Again, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Now, in this video today, I want to talk a little bit about that title, what it could possibly mean, what does it mean for the movie, what does it mean for the franchise, where's the movie going, and I hope to talk about some of that, and we'll discuss it in the comments as usual, and I'll get you all's feedback, and we'll go from there. So let's jump into it. So before we jump into what this title actually means, let's take a look at what actual titles mean for movies anyway because I think there's a little bit of confusion going on as to what a title is supposed to say and what they actually say about movies. The first thing is a title is a descriptive term that will give you some sort of description of what a piece of work, a movie, a piece of art, a piece of music, or whatever is supposed to be about. But we've seen, on the other hand, to where these descriptions or movie titles have been a bit misleading. They've kind of had nothing to do with some movies that they were, the respective movies that they were titled after. So in that sense, we see a little bit of a difference between the titles of a lot of movies and what titles actually mean to movies. And a lot of times, I think movie studios and directors will purposefully kind of mislead people with titles just to kind of draw people in with titles. Um, we see that a lot in Hollywood. I mean, you get excited about this really big name title, or you'll see a big name actor in it or something like that, and it gets misleading because once you get to see the movie, it's a little bit different, or it's completely different than what you expected from the title. I mean, it actually has some significance, I guess, from the title, but the movie is like a completely different movie than what the title suggested. So again, I just wanted to get that straight about titles and about movies, about titles of movies, before we jump into what this title can actually mean for the new Batman versus Superman movie. So now let's break this title down and let's talk about it in its two distinct parts. We have the Batman versus Superman, and then we have Dawn of Justice. So the Batman versus Superman, again, is not really that big of a piece of news. We all have been calling it Batman versus Superman since, late last year sometime, once after the announcement was made at Comic-Con last summer. So we've been kind of calling it that anyway, so it kind of makes sense for them to title this movie Batman Superman. I kind of have a feeling that they were kind of waiting, again, on fans to see what the fan response was going to be to this announcement with Batman versus Superman. And if you remember, the announcement wasn't that they were going to do Batman versus Superman. They came out and, I mean, you all know the announcement. They didn't specifically say that it was going to be Batman versus Superman, or that that was going to be the title. They just said that Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns is where they were going to draw the inspiration from this new movie from, and that Batman and Superman were going to be in the movie. So I really believe that they were waiting on fans, the fan reaction, to see what they should title this movie. And we've all just affectionately known it as Batman versus Superman since really last summer. So it makes sense to call this movie Batman versus Superman, especially if you're going to have the two greatest superheroes of all time clashing or bickering or fighting in this movie, or whatever they're going to do. It makes sense. It's logical to call it Batman versus Superman. Now, a lot of people again are speculating, or have speculated prior to this announcement, that that maybe the movie was going to be called Man of Steel 2, or it was going to be some kind of alteration of Man of Steel 2. But as we see, it's Batman versus Superman. So again, this title makes sense in the scheme of things. Now, on the other hand, this title is a bit dangerous because it suggests a really big, just by the nature of saying Batman versus Superman, it suggests this epic something that's going to happen between Batman and Superman. So I hope that it's not calling this title Batman versus Superman, and then we get some sort of cheesy little mishap where Superman or Batman slaps Superman or something like that, and then it's like who's your daddy, or some crap like that. I hope it's not that cheesy. So what I'm saying, it's dangerous in that the fact that the movie or that this fight or bicker, whatever they're going to have, is going to have to live up to the epicness of this name. I mean, Batman versus Superman is a very epic name. I mean, really, what other two superheroes would you see in a movie that has this gravitas to it? So it's dangerous in that way. So I hope that they live up to it. I have no reason to think they're not going to do it. But again, I'm thinking that the title is a bit dangerous when it concerns that, because it has to live up to this epic fight. So this movie has to be great, guys. Batman versus Superman. It has to be awesome. Now, one more thing I want to bring up that's interesting about the Batman versus Superman part of this title is that they actually have Batman's name first in the title. Now, that could mean nothing or it could mean a lot. Because Batman's name is first. And Batman, again, so well, let me say this first, that in recent years, especially the past 5 to 10 years or so, that Batman has been by far the more popular character of DC. He kind of succeeded Superman in popularity, so he has by far been the most popular character. So in those terms, it kind of makes sense to make Batman's name first. And also, it just has a certain ring to it. It flows off the tongue, at least for me, a little bit better when you say Batman versus Superman versus saying Superman versus Batman. So, but again, this title could mean a lot. I'm not sure if they, usually when they do something like that, it could mean that Batman is they're considering Batman the more important part of this movie. And if that's the case, that's going to say a lot about what the movie is going to be and how this movie is going to play out. Which, again, I'm hoping that it's not, this big thing where we're trying to recreate this Batman. I hope that it's still, for the most part, a Superman movie, or at least, at the very least, that it's equally done between Batman and Superman. So again, I'm not sure what they meant by including the Batman name first in the title. My preference, again, because I'm biased towards Superman, of course, is that I would have preferred that Superman's name be first in this title. Now, again, this is not a big thing at all. It doesn't, again, it could literally mean nothing, or it could mean a lot. So it's not that big of a deal. I just thought that it was interesting that it's Batman versus Superman rather than Superman versus Batman. Okay, now, the second part of this title, Dawn of Justice, is very interesting. It's interesting in a couple of ways, because usually, historically speaking, when you think of Dawn of something, names like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or Dawn of the Dead, those type of movies come into mind. And I'm not sure if this title is some sort of salute toward that style of picture or not, but if it is, it's really interesting, because in those movies like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Dead, and other movies with Dawn in the name, or Dawn of something in the name, we get this kind of gory kind of feel in the movie, and the movie, of course, always transitions into something else. So for example, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, we had this kind of dark, gory, thing that happened, and then it was sort of the beginning of the apes, of the Planet of the Apes. So, and how the apes were going to start to take over something, which kind of always leads us into it lets us know that it's going to be a story that's probably unfinished, and that it's going to go into something else, which of course we already know Batman versus Superman is going to be, because it's going to go into Justice League. So we kind of already know that this is a movie that's leading into the Justice League. But my fear about it is that I hope that this movie doesn't become just an intro movie to Justice League movie. I hope that this movie itself, Batman versus Superman, gets its just due. Like, it's a great standalone movie. It's epic in its own right. And even if we got no Justice League after this movie will be like really, really historical. And it's not just this intro, okay, let's just try to get the Justice League done type of thing. And that's kind of what the done of, when you say the done of something, reminds me of. Now, fairly speaking, historically speaking rather, in the past where you've had done of something like that, when it built up to something, the movie was epic. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was a great movie, so was Dawn of the Dead. So they were both very memorable movies, especially Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the remake and the original. So yeah, again, I just hope that that's not what they're going to do with this movie, and just make it this intro movie, as this title kind of in a lot of ways suggests. So again, I have no reason to think that that's what they're going to do. Everything I've seen from the movie thus far has been, really exciting and interesting. So I think they're on a great path. So I don't think it's going to go into anything like that, and it's just going to be an intro movie. I mean, really, how do you put Batman and Superman in a movie and it just be like this random kind of boring movie? That I can't understand how that can happen. But anyway, that's the first thing that the second part of this title sort of suggests to me. Now, the final thing about this title that suggests something to me is in Dawn of Justice, they just leave the name Justice in there. So it's kind of like, what it sounds like to me is Superman versus Batman, Dawn of Justice, ... So it kind of leaves this something to be wondered about what's going to happen with the Justice League title even. Like, is it going to be called Justice League? Is it going to be called, Justice League of America, Justice League Dark, or, the New 52? What is it going to be called? So it kind of leaves room for that. I really, that's what's really intriguing about this title to me, is it's that it leaves room for whatever they decide to call the new Justice League movie that's going to come after this movie. Should it, just be Justice movie, or, Justice Heroes or something like that? It leaves room for that. So I think that's very interesting to how they did the title. Now, again, I think that they're going to go with something that's more familiar. Again, something that makes sense, like this title does. Again, it just absolutely makes sense to call it Batman versus Superman. Everybody's been calling it Batman versus Superman. I'm sure Zack Snyder and, David Goyer and, his whole crew have been calling it Batman versus Superman, since we've been calling it Batman Superman anyway. Even before they came up with the title, I'm sure they've probably, since they've been filming, they've probably been calling it that on the set. You probably see the markers that do this in the camera. That's probably has Batman versus Superman on it already. So I'm sure they probably had this title, well before they announced it, which is the case that they do with everything. They just kind of keep it under wraps, with all of this stuff. So again, I thought that was very interesting to just really see how they kind of left this title, the end of this title, kind of open. Not necessarily open, but just kind of, it has room for like whatever the Justice League is going to be called. All right, guys. So overall, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice title, I absolutely love it. It is a great title. It's very fitting. It makes sense. It gives us a sense of what's going to happen next. It gives us a sense of what the movie is going to be about, and it just sounds good. It sounds like it's going to be good. Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. So again, I'm very excited about the movie to come. I'm very excited what they're gonna put in this movie. All of the characters that they have. I'm looking so forward to seeing it as I'm making this video. We're still about 2 years off from this movie coming out. That's if they don't move the date from up or back from May 2016. So right now we're 2 years off from seeing this movie. So we still kind of got a long time. Stuff may change between now and then. I mean, literally, titles could change. They could go with a different title. They could add more cast members. There's so much more that could happen in the 2 years that we have for this movie to come out. So again, I'm in love with the title. I'm excited about the movie, and I can't wait to see what it's going to bring. All right, guys. So with that being said, I'll end the video here. Make sure you go subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be a lot more news coming out about this new Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice movie. I love saying that now. There's going to be a lot more news coming out about this movie, and you're going to want to hear about it. So I'm definitely going to be putting up some more videos soon. Definitely as the news come out, I'm going to talk about it objectively, as we always do. We'll sit down and talk about the title. We'll discuss it in the comment sections and everything. So make sure you go subscribe to the channel right now. Also, if you want, you can follow me on Twitter at this link right here in the video. Go do that now. You can follow me on Twitter. I tweet out. We talk about a lot of conversations and stuff on Twitter, a lot of Superman fans and stuff too. So if you're interested in that, go follow me on Twitter at this link right here again. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video.